Welcome to St Mary's. Come and have a look around. It's a beautiful church.
For centuries, this majestic medieval church has dominated the Melton Mowbray skyline. A cathedral in all but name, St Mary's has been described as the stateliest parish church in Leicestershire. Team Rector, the Reverend Dr. Mary Barr, has high praise for the building.
I think it's amazing. It's a magnificent building. It's a place where prayer has been offered for hundreds of years. And I think when people pray in a place, the prayer changes the atmosphere. And people who come into this building are struck by it. Sometimes it's the peace and quiet. Other times it's the buzz of activity. But all of the time, church is not just about building, it's about people. We are the living stones. And so when people come in, the building warms to them and comes alive in different ways each time.
However, St Mary's is not the only church that the Team Rector is responsible for.
We are part of the Framland Deanery. Melton Team Parish has several other churches for which I'm responsible. Initially I started as Team Vicar with particular responsibility for St Mary the Virgin Thorpe Arnold, St James Burton Lazars, St Bartholomew's Welby, St Leonard's Sysonby, and then there is St Mary's Freeby, which is a church building which is closed because it is very much a home for bats. The churchyard is still open for burials, but the church itself is under the care of the Church's Conservation Trust. But it maintains a Christian visible presence in the little hamlet out at Freeby.
A long-retired member of the clergy, Reverend Graham Spencer, who had also been a former chaplain to Leicester City Football Club, is now among those who assist the Team Rector.
The Church of England needs retired clergy. I came to live back here in 2005 and got involved with the team.
In 2016, a successful £1.9 million appeal was launched for renovations to St Mary's. Today, Reverend Graham Spencer says the building is in great shape.
It's wonderful. Luckily, the floor has been flattened. There's more access. So for me personally, having this walker, there aren't many steps to try to negotiate. The other church I can get into is Burton Lazars. There might be a service in the village hall at Thorpe Arnold.
Senior Church Warden Canon Ian Neal oversees the day-to-day running of the church.
Since the foundation of this building in 1170, the building has evolved and things change all the time. So it's quite interesting. The diocese brought Historic England round recently to show that this was a living building and not a museum. And it is. And when we did our project in 2017, everything here is movable so that all sorts of activities can happen within the building, and we're not restrained by furniture. We have a large variety of events that happen within the building, a lot of them to do with the town. So we've hosted recently a concert by the Choral Society. Previously that we had a theatre production, Phantom of the Opera. The week before that we had Cheese Awards in here, and just before that the local authority used our building to count for the police commissioner elections. So a wide variety.
But running a building the size of St Mary's can be a very costly affair.
When these community organisations use it, obviously there's a charge, and we get a lot of money coming in from our visitors. So we've recently installed a card machine which also brings money in. But it's a huge expense to run the building, and in 2023 we had a deficit on our general account of nearly £40,000, and that mainly was due to the cost of heating and light. Fortunately, we've negotiated a lower rate for those. Hopefully our deficit will come down, but we're always struggling for money. And of course, whenever you do any work on the building, because of the size of it, it costs a lot of money.
During opening hours, St Mary's is staffed mainly by a band of volunteers. However, the church does pay for some services.
I get paid as a cleaner to keep the toilets clean and the kitchen area clean, the refreshment area clean, 4 hours a week, and do serving duty on a Sunday out with the communion.
Outside the church, the decorative borders are tended by volunteers from Melton in Bloom.
It's a certificate for the church's gardening, and It's Your Neighbourhood is a group of people who work within the community to improve the community, like Melton in Bloom does too. But this is purely for the church, and so we're very proud.
School visits to St Mary's are usually conducted by the team rector, the Reverend Dr. Mary Barr, but when she's not available, a volunteer steps in.
I tend to be the member of the congregation of St Mary's who actually meets and greets school parties who want to visit St Mary's to learn about the building and about its history and how long it's been here and its function as a Christian place of worship within Melton Mowbray town centre.
The main body of volunteers are known as welcomers, greeting visitors as they enter the church.
Welcome to St Mary's. It's very nice to see you today.
Good morning. Welcome to St Mary's.
Welcome to St Mary's. Are you a new visitor or would you like us to tell you a bit about the church?
Hello, welcome.
Good morning. How are you today?
If you'd like a little leaflet to look round the church with some information on, you're very welcome.
Good morning, welcome to St Mary's. We'll give you a leaflet to walk around with.
Welcome, nice to see you.
And for the visitor, there is so much to see at St Mary's. Here again is Canon Ian Neal.
I think the most interesting monument we've got is our Alabaster Lady. We're not quite sure who she is, and I think there's some need for research to be done there, but she is absolutely magnificent. The workmanship there is. We've also got our Crusader, who people think have only got one leg, but in fact his legs are crossed if you look carefully. And then there's a lot of ledger slabs around showing the history of Melton Mowbray. So a lot of these slabs you can link with people from the town, people that have made Melton famous. So we've got the Reeve family who did Melton cloth, and of course Melton cloth is used in things like duffel coats and army coats. So not only pork pies and Stilton cheese, but a lot of other things as well.
However, there is one place in the church that visitors don't get to see. That's the inside of the majestic bell tower. Time now to meet the tower captain.
Responsible for basically everything that happens beyond the little door there upwards. So I look after the bells, make sure they're maintained. I teach our ringers how to ring, how to use the bells. I'm responsible for the maintenance of the bells up there. I put up the flag on the relevant occasions that it's needed. We've got a clock and a carillon up there, and I'm responsible for making sure that those are looked after. I also have a deputy who helps me in all of this.
The tower captain then takes our fittest cameraman, Cormac, on a tour of the tower.
Here we are in the ringing room of St Mary's Church. You can see all ropes up there, and this is where every Tuesday and every Sunday we turn up to ring the 10 bells that we have that are full circle ringing.
Right.
We currently have around 20 ringers, but we're always looking for new recruits.
So, what's it like for a bell ringer?
It's energetic. It's very good. I enjoy it. Get climbing 55 stairs to the ringing room, and then with all the bells up there and ringing up, and do around the chord changes and different methods.
And now it's onward and up to the next level.
Now we're in the clock room of St Mary's, and on my right, your left, is the clock itself, and you have three distinct parts. You have the clock on the end, and then the other two pieces are the quarter hour in the middle and the hour chiming mechanism. And then on my left is the carillon, which is a musical box. There's a wooden drum, and when it turns there are pegs that then trigger the various wires and rods and things to strike against the side of the bells.
It's a little more difficult on the way up to the next level as the steps narrow and become more worn.
We're in amongst the bells of St Mary's now. We've got 10 bells, from the lightest one in the far corner over there to the heaviest one that's just behind me and to my left. And the heaviest one is 1.25 tons, so it's about the size of a medium-sized car to turn around. They can be rung by one person primarily because all of the bells, as you can see, have got a big piece of weight that they're attached to, so they're all counterbalanced and they move fairly easily.
From the bells of St Mary's, it's just a short climb to the roof of the tower for a bird's eye view of Melton Mowbray. And then it's back down the bell tower and into the heart of this magnificent building. Today St Mary's is known as a venue for special events, but it's a sacred place that becomes extra special at times of prayer and remembrance. But what of the future? We leave the final word to the team rector, the Reverend Dr. Mary Barr.
For our church community, as for most church communities around the UK at the moment, it's a time of challenge. The COVID pandemic obviously affected the way we did church, and it's been difficult to recover from that, particularly where a lot of members of the congregation are elderly or frail or have vulnerabilities. But there's always a tide which sometimes seems to be ebbing and other times is flowing in our church histories. And I think as long as we maintain our focus on the main thing and the good news of the kingdom of God and the centrality of Jesus in that, then we will continue to shine the light of Christ in this place for, I hope, hundreds, if not thousands of years to come.